Hi everyone, we are back with another narcissism video. So for those who haven't met me, my name is Deanna King and this channel is all about narcissism, codependency, and tips on how to heal yourself throughout this rough journey. I usually leave tips and advice on not all my videos, but most of them, and I usually leave them at the end. So if any of these videos resonate with you, please do consider subscribing and getting to that notification bell. So today, I just want to talk victim to victim. I want to talk about how hard it is for any of you out there who are going through this right now. And I guess it's also in hopes that it'll help you to see clearer at what you're really going through, because when we're on the inside, we can't see the whole picture. It's harder to see the big picture. But I also want to just merely acknowledge you and tell you that I really do get what you're going through and that you aren't crazy. You're really going through something hard. Living with a narcissist has got to be one of the hardest experiences a person goes through, because we lose all notion of who we were or who we are. We become a shell of who we once were. And the thing is it happens so slowly that by the time that we awaken to start to see what's happening to us, we are already imprisoned in our own minds, especially when you are with a covert narcissist, because everything is done so covertly. With coverts, it's all about trickery. That's dirty. There's the subtle devaluations, the demeaning comments. You keep trying to please them in exchange for a good day, where a good day means that they're not in a bad mood. That's a good day for you. A good day where they actually talk to you like a human being for 5 minutes, or they say something nice to you in passing. And those are what we call cookie crumbs. So where the norm in your friends' experiences are like, Tom and I went for a long drive after work yesterday just to enjoy looking at properties and chat. Or Marla and I watched an amazing movie last night. You aren't spending evenings sharing popcorn with them. You got minutes of their time and then spent the rest of the evening or weekends alone. You get to be put down again because they're in a bad mood. And they're in a bad mood for heaven knows why. They just showed up that way, where you were having an okay day and they walk in with that oh so angry, stern look on their face that you are more than familiar with. I mean, this is your daily experience with these people. So now, once again, your nerves are shot, afraid of what's next from them, and carefully tiptoeing around them. So the favor that you needed to ask them is now put in the back burner again. And so, once again, you go without something that you needed, something that was important to you, something that in any normal relationship would not have involved fear in the asking. You feel like a little child afraid to ask mom or dad for something because they might get angry again. You're a grown-up and you're being treated this way. You're in a relationship deprived of shared laughter, deprived of any kind of acknowledgement, deprived of important talks, deprived of any fun with friends, because you've become nothing but a servant. And then the only time that you get to spend a good amount of time with them is when they need supply. So they put you in these circular conversations, and these circular conversations leave you completely drained with nothing resolved in all the effort that you might have put in defending yourself from the attacks and trying 1,000 ways to explain your part in something that you want them to understand, that a 5-year-old would understand, such as, I need for you to stop calling me names. But the whole time they were just laughing at you because they were doing all of this with a malicious intent. What an awful thing to do to someone. Any kind of love or affection is withheld from you, not even a hug, unless they need something from you. There are no hugs, there's no kiss goodnight, Just a constant reminder that you're nothing to them. You're lower than lower. That you're just a disgusting thing to them. There isn't any equality with them. There is them above and you below. And the worst part is that you only realize the depth of the pain and the abuse after the relationship is over, because you're so programmed. And that's because the abuse it's done so slowly over time, and while the abuse takes place, your confidence levels go down even further than they were when you walked into this relationship. The fears that you came in with, whether you realized that you still had fears, are now intensified tenfold. The last and final narcissist that I had in my life before I healed my issues came into my life when I was sure that I had it all together, other than a health issue that I was dealing with at the time. It had been years since I had had an abuser in my life. I mean, I dated good men. I was very independent, so I didn't want men living with me for most of my life. And I even spent 12 years with my last partner, with whom I am still really great friends with today. I always felt confident. I felt confident about myself and was extremely independent. But due to this health issue that I had, he weaseled his way into my life so covertly that I had no idea what hit me. And then little by little, he did what they do. And by the time that I was able to leave, which wasn't easy because it came with a lot of threats on his part, but by the time I finally wanted out, I no longer believed that I could make it on my own. Me, the girl who bought all her houses, the girl who spent her life completely independent, strong, and had businesses. But the childhood programming that occurred with my father, always bringing my older sibling up, but constantly telling me that I'd never amount to anything, on top of telling me that I would never make it on my own, surfaced. And what's funny is that no matter how I always remembered that, I always felt the feelings, and it continued to hurt throughout my life, I never had an issue making it on my own. I always proved that I could make it on my own. But this time, this narcissist reinforced that fear in me so hard that I literally became paralyzed with fear. The worst part is I was not in love with him at all. I had no attraction. That's how good they are. The stonewalling that occurs in these relationships leave you trying harder to get through to them. All the energy is on them. So a part of you believes that they just don't understand something, that they just don't get it, or the abuse that they must have endured growing up keeps your compassion for them rolling. And then through all of this, there's the cognitive dissonance. Because although you're going through those thoughts, the other part of you is really angry and hurt. So the confusion and the resentments that you feel leaves you incapable of making decisions. The guilt and the resentment. You can't make a decision because you feel both. You feel resentful and you feel guilty. Then the desperation that you're left feeling with the silent treatment that they put you through. The punishments for having said the wrong thing, said the wrong word, or not knowing that you were supposed to respond to a bland statement that they made in passing. And now because of this, you don't get to go to the wedding that you were looking forward to attending. Or you don't get to go furniture shopping like they had promised. You were so looking forward to that. Another cookie crumb. But the worst part is that it's so covert that everyone around you fails to see what's going on. So if you tell your friends that you spend all your nights alone, they just see you as somebody that's complaining, because what they see in the narcissist is this really quiet person who just likes to read and isn't harming anyone. These narcissists are always acting in front of everybody. They know what they're doing, the trickery. So you look like you're just looking to complain. And they're thinking, well, at least he's not drinking in bars. And then try telling them that you're being gaslit with phrases such as your partner told you last night that you didn't say what you said they said, or that's not how something happened. And you look like a nutcase to them. Because so what? Maybe the way you understood something was indeed not the way something happened. They don't see what's happening behind the veils. All they see is these small things. And a huge part of what's going on here is the intent of the behavior the narcissist shows around friends. They never complain around them. Pay attention. In front of them, they act all sweet and attentive. And then you look like a fool. And with all of this stuff, your sense of self becomes non-existent. You disappear into the earth. You always have to ask permission. You're always in trouble for deciding that you want to do any simple thing for yourself. And then you're left with nowhere to turn, no one to talk to, because you just end up walking away feeling shame if you're to talk to any of your friends about this or your family. Because you can see the look on their face. You're not stupid. And now to boot, you no longer trust your own self. Not to mention panic attacks have now become a part of your life. You no longer sleep well at night. You experience weight gain where no matter what you try, you can't even lose a single pound. Then there's the digestive issues. We're falling apart here. And the food allergies that we develop, along with hair loss. So where do you go with all of this? Some of these abusers even turn family against you. Or even if they don't have that opportunity, they turn you against them, making you feel as though that you can't trust them because they've now told you awful things that they've heard your family say about you. Or how they saw your brother roll their eyes while you were speaking the other day. Now with no friends or family you feel you can't turn to, you become a person who walks around making everything perfect so that somehow there's this sense of peace that you're good enough. You might even think that you're enjoying it, this busyness that you do, but this is all about survival mode. The vehicles shines, the house is impeccable, or things are organized to the nines. It's all about perfection. All you can do is just keep putting in more effort into being enough to please them. The perfect meals, even though they continue to treat you badly. And the perfection also is the idea that the pain is so hard that this is the only way you can deal, by keeping busy and keeping focus on said thing. And then the other part, when you want a cookie crumb again, is you're doing extra things for them that they were responsible for. Then there's the going without so that they can have, like your own vehicle, your own money. All of this for a cookie. Not even a cookie crumb. But meanwhile, you're screaming inside, because no matter how many things you try to do to have a normal relationship, it is never enough for the narcissist. But you have no choice to keep going, because you're in constant survival mode, doing everything that you can to please them, just so that they stop screaming at you, or whatever way they find to jump down your throat and give you their famous punishments. It is incredibly hard. And especially for you as an empath, because if there's one thing for sure that the empath needs, is for their environment to be peaceful. We need that in order to survive, in order to be okay. Empaths need harmony around them. We want those around us to be happy. So when they aren't, we take on the responsibility and we start moving mountains to make that happen. How about when you attend dinner parties with other couples and they treat you with such respect and laugh at your jokes, and you think to yourself, wow, this dinner party is just what the doctor ordered to help bring closeness to this relationship. Now there's hope, right? Only to get into the vehicle at the end of the night where nothing is said all the way home. And it's back to the cold shoulder. What about the looks that they give you when you share anything really that leaves you feeling awkward and ashamed? The new project that you were working on, and proudly show them where they show zero interest, leaving you feeling stupid. And this trauma is repeated over and over and over again, where the unexpressed anger you feel inside keeps filling you up until you can no longer breathe. And by then all that's left is depression and hopelessness. You may even have stopped dressing or combing your hair. Just stop caring. You might end up with symptoms of OCD, or perhaps you also become a monster towards them, where you find yourself calling them names and disrespecting them, which is quite normal that you would do that. Only so much a person can take. However, this behavior in you makes you feel even more hatred and disdain for yourself. The happy-go-lucky person who used to light up a room is gone. That person who once was you no longer exists. This is what an abuser does to someone. They leave you feeling that there is just no hope. This is not a living. This is a dying. But I am here to tell you that no matter what, there is always hope. No matter what they tell you. No matter if you don't have the finances to leave, or that you're too afraid, or that you no longer believe that anything good will ever come out of your life. It doesn't take money to start healing. It takes willingness, and then it takes space, giving yourself the space to do simple things that you can do from home, even if that narcissist is still in your life. You just need focus, pen, paper sometimes, but space, headspace, that's what you need. The power to take back control is within you, and it's within you only. Louise Hay used to say that the first thing that one should do is to repeat the affirmation, I am willing to change, and that the willingness alone, if one means it, is going to begin to shift things for you. Perhaps start with that. So I leave you with this to ponder on today, and just remember, this treatment that you've been getting from them is not about you, but about their own anger. They would treat anyone else the same way if they lived with them. So hopefully we shall see you in the next video, and bye for now.